everyone, and welcome to Friday's class, or whatever time of day it happens to be when you're watching this. Let's begin with some warm-ups. 8 in a hand, together. Check your hand position and just think about your whole body position, nice and tall and right spacing between you and the pad or drum. I actually recommend that you practice on a snare drum if you can at this point. We have a performance next Monday with the Young Lions, so that it would be good preparation. All right, one more time, a little bit more quickly for the tempo. Do, 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 do. Staying relaxed, thinking about our wrists and rebound. One more time, increasing the tempo once again. Ready, play. Good, let's proceed on now to the accent drill. Same thing. Slow, medium, fast. Do, day, ready, go. Switch. 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 Medium tempo. Do, ready, play. And faster. Again, think about our first 3 R's. Relax, wrist, rebound. Check your hand position. Make sure everything's working the way it should. Ready, play. And as you're doing these warm-ups, just be looking down at your hands and your stroke, making sure that you are the teacher in charge of you as the student, as it were. At this time, I'd like to explain one of the drills that we'll be practicing that's partly technique, but mostly an audiation drill. And this is an important skill for percussionists, really for any musician, being able to internalize the steady beat and not only keep accurately going in your mind without an external source, but divide it into different levels. So we're going to use the syllables that we've learned so far and begin learning the beat division drill. Eventually we'll learn how to divide everything from 2 through 8 and back. Today we're just going to focus on about 2/3 of those options. We're going to leave out the 5s and 7s for now. But if we think of our steady beat as the do, let's set that at about 1 per second or 60 beats per minute. And we'll just play 4 macro beats, and then we'll proceed to the next beat level. So this first time, let's stay in the duple meter patterns. Let's go 1, 2, 4, 2, 1 that we've learned so far. So that's do's, do days, do to datas, and back. Ready, go. And to not rush on the do's, make sure you're imagining the space between the beats as if you were conducting them, even though it's just a quick down-up motion here, or swaying back and forth like we do when we do the macro beats. Now, let's extend it one more beat level to the subdivisions. We did macro beats, divisions. Remember I explained a few days ago that for percussion and more advanced playing, I made up a next tier, a next tempo, or beat division level, if you want to say it that, of syllables, and that's putting a ga after each of the dutadetas. So duga tugga dega tugga. Let's practice saying that slow to fast together. Duga tugga dega tugga, 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 do. All right, hopefully you got some of that anyway. So now let's think of that'll be our 8 on beat. Do's, do-days, do-to-datas, do-ga-tigga-digga-tigga. 4 macro beats of each level and then back. Here's our tempo. And ready, say, and play. And stop. Now, let's think the same type of sequence for triple meter. We're going to use the same tempo for our macro beats. Those will be the do's. Our micro beat, do-da-dee, 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 do-da-dee. Our divisions, do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta, 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 do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta. So let's go 1, 3, 6, 3, 1. Up and down the beat levels of triple meter. Ready and go. Good. Now let's combine them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and back. So we'll be switching as we go from 2 to 3 to 4, back and forth between a duple and triple feel. As we go from 4 to 6 to 8, the same thing, and then back. All right, in preparation for playing the drill, let's go ahead and practice saying the syllables, switching back and forth between the duple and triple meter beat levels. Ready, go. Do, 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 do. Do-day, 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 do-day. Do-da-dee, 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 do-da-dee. Do-ta-data, 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 do-ta-data. Do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta, 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 do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta. Do-ga-tugga-dega-tugga, 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 do-ga-tugga-dega-tugga. Do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta, 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 do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta. Do-ta-data, 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 do-ta-data. Do-da-dee, 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 do-da-dee. Do-day, 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 do-day. Do, 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 do. All right. Now keeping all that feel inside of us, audiating our feeling of movement, space between the beats, and right before we get to each new beat division, starting to audiate the syllables in your mind. When you're on the 4th beat of the current level, start thinking about the 1st beat of the next level. Here we go. Say and play. So in your warm-up and in your practice each day, put a metronome on to 60 beats per minute and practice through that drill. We'll get to 5s and 7s after we've learned the syllables for some of the uneven meter feelings, and that's where the 5s and 7s come in. So let's go ahead and proceed now. The next thing I like to do is some improvising, some patterns repeating and improvising in triple meter, continue to acculturate to triple meter. So we've already been getting in that field with our do-da-dees and do-ta-da-ta-dee-tas. Let's just echo some patterns here together. And let's go ahead and take this tempo. Do, do, do-da-dee, do-da-dee. Get that inside. Ready, listen. Do-da-dee, do, do-da-dee, do. Do-da-dee, do-da-dee, do, do. Do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do, do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do. Do, do-da-dee, do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do. Now let's add some elongations. Do, do-da-dee, do. Do, do, do-da-dee. Do, do, do. Now some divisions. Do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do. I'm sorry, some divisions and elongations. Do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do, do-da-dee-do. Do, do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do. Now let's throw in some rests. Do, do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do. Do, dee, do, dee, do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do. Do, dee, do, dee, do. Do, dee, do-da-dee-do. Do, dee, do, dee, da-dee-do. Good. Now, let's practice improvising. I'll say a pattern, and I've been meaning to mention this in class, but when you first have kids start to improvise, especially younger students, it's good to give them the instruction instead of do the same pattern as me, do a pattern like mine. So you can start at the same and change it toward the end, or you can just use some of the rhythms I use, but add one or two of your own. You can even make it almost like mine and just change one thing if you want. But talking about doing patterns that are like mine but not the same as mine is a good way to describe improvisation, especially to younger students. So usually you give some examples. So for instance, I might say if I did do-da-dee-do, do-da-dee-do, you might choose to do do-da-dee-do, do-da-dee-do-da-dee. So I added a do-da-dee at the end instead of a do in that second pattern. And that would be improvising. We're in triple meter and we're improvising in certain rhythm functions. I would tell them use macrobeats and microbeats at first, and then add divisions, and then as we get to elongations, rest, some of the other patterns, we'd practice those kind of one at a time. For you today, let's do all of the first 5, and so I'll do patterns that include some or all of those functions in each pattern, and you make one that's like mine. Macrobeats, microbeats, divisions, elongations, rests. Here we go. Do, do, ready, and listen. Do-da-dee-do, do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do. Do, do-da-dee, do-ta-da-ta-dee. Do-da-dee-ta-do, do, do. Do-dee, do-ta-da-ta-dee-ta-do. So keep practicing that on your own. Just get used to making up patterns and focus in on one function at a time, and see if you can think of 2 or 3 or 4 patterns in a row like that. And when we get back to class on Monday and next Friday, we'll once again do this together around the circle. Let's move on for right now to the triple meter handouts. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to get those out. We're going to practice reading and playing some of these today. And I'll keep my page off to the side so you can still see my snare drum and playing. I'm actually going to turn on the snares at this point, and it'd be good for you to practice the snares as well. Get used to the feel and the sound. It does change when the snares are on. So let's go ahead and read. We're in 6/8 time signature. We're feeling 2 macrobeats to the measure. The macrobeats are the dotted quarters. The microbeats are the 8th notes. And let's go ahead and start with line 3 where we have notes and rests. Do, do, ready, and go. Do, do-da-dee-do, do-da-dee-do-da-dee, do, do, so remember to say and play these. And if you found yourself coming in early after the rest, remember you can do the 3-step process. Practice just saying the syllables where you're saying the rest out loud, then whispering them, then audiating them. And moving and doing your beat levels, if you're having trouble, is also a good way to help tie what you're saying in with a sensation of movement. Remember, to be successful at rhythms, we need to audiate the feeling of moving to macrobeats and microbeats in a meter, and then put the rhythm patterns into that framework. So if you need more practice on that last one, go ahead and pause the video and practice that. I'm going to move on for now to the 4th line down. We have some 8th rests here, and let's go ahead and say it as we move to macrobeats and microbeats, and then we'll play it. Ready, and say. Do-da-dee-do, do-da, do-da, do-da-dee-do, da-dee, da-dee, do-da, da-dee, da-dee, do-da, do-do-dee-do. Alright, if you need more practice with that, go ahead and take the time and do that. Let's move now to saying and playing. Ready, and go. Take a look now at line 5, the last microbeat pattern. Audiate through this on your own. Ready, and go. And let's say and play together. Ready, and go. Again, if you're coming in early on the rests or getting off, take the time to move and say these again, and then practice them on your own, and then go back and try to perform it with me. Let's move on now to division patterns, continuing to read straight down the page. Ready, and go. Do-da-dee, do-da-dee, do-da-dee-do. Do-da-dee-do. Hopefully we all got that. Let's continue. Take a glance at where the divisions come into the patterns in this next one. It's kind of erratic on purpose. So let's audiate through this first once in our minds before we play. Ready, and go. And let's move and say this one together. Ready, and go. Do-da-dee, do-da-dee. Do-da-dee-da-do, do-da-da-dee, do-da-da-dee, do-da-da-dee-da-do. Now saying and playing. Ready, and go. Do-da-dee, do-da-dee, do-da-da-dee-do, do-da-dee, do-da-da-dee-do. And the last line. Now we have divisions and we have rests. Macrobeats, microbeats, divisions, rests. Take a look through this one. Practice it in your mind. Ready, and audiate. Stop and take the time you need to figure it out if you were confused on any of those. Let's say it together now, just to make sure we're all audiating it correctly. Ready, and go. Do to da to dee. I'm sorry. Again, and go. Do to da to dee to do. Dee da to dee do. Da do dee do to da dee to do. And let's play it. Ready, and go. Again, if you're still not quite on together with me, go back and do the steps with rest that we talked about, do the steps with movement we talked about. And that's how you'll continue to practice on through these pages. Page 2 of the triple meter patterns continues now with 16th rest. We've already practiced some of that in our other book. And then it gets to different elongation patterns and syncopation, tie, pickup. So I'll let you all continue to work through that in your own practice time, and we'll continue to play a few of those in our class time together as well. Let's move now to our Burns book, and we have pages 33 to 36. Let's do the exercise, which is again similar to what you'd see in a snare drum part for a march, especially at a lower level before they get some of the other more common rolls and rudiments in here. This is just basically a march form with the rhythm patterns we've learned so far and dynamics. So check out the dynamics. As we play, let's not do any repeats. Let's just play straight through the pages. Obviously, if I were teaching students, I'd be teaching them about how to do repeats, how to do dies al fine. You all know that already, so we're not going to take the time. Just straight down through this page, then we'll do straight down through 36. Focus on correct rhythms, saying the syllables, and making a large difference between your dynamics. Again, dynamics are height, fortissimo to pianissimo. Let's take this at a march tempo. Ready, and go. So that may be a little fast for some of you. If you need, go back and practice, but that's the full march tempo. Let's go on now to page 36, the same way. 1, 2, ready, go. Dies al fine. For now, that's good. Again, if this is fast for you, practice one line at a time until you can get up to that tempo. And when you go on to accents, preparing for Monday's class, remember you'll actually, page 1 is basically our accent drill. Just now we're reading them, so you're prepared to do that. Let's continue on now with talking about what we need to do for our snare drum performance, the Young Lions. Once again, this is in Canvas. Go ahead and download a copy, practice it, on a snare drum with your snares on. I'm turning now to it now, so if you don't have that up, go ahead and get that up, and then unpause the video. All right, talking through the Young Lions, we notice there are accents, we notice there are dynamics, and crescendos, decrescendos, along with written dynamics. And we also notice the quarter note is 60. So this is pretty slow. This is written for beginners. For you, you may play it more like chord note equals 90 if you would like. we're all ready for that. So I'm going to take it more in that range, and that will be fine for you as well on your performance test on Monday. So Monday, make sure you bring your phone or other device that I can record your performance, and you'll get up in front of the class and just play this solo straight through, and then we'll talk about strengths and weaknesses that we saw. Also, it's very important to download the snare drum check sheet that we'll be using to evaluate this so that you know what you should be looking for. It has a bunch of aspects of your grip and your stance and your rebound and stroke, and then some musical aspects as well. So make sure you're looking through the snare drum performance check sheet that's also in Canvas in our, I believe it'd be in our week 5 folder, along with the assignment, I guess, for the test here. So what you'll do after class on Monday, you'll upload the video from your phone to Canvas, and you'll watch it, evaluating yourself with the check sheet, and put a score on there. Then I'll watch it, do the same, and then I'll be evaluating you not only on your performance, but on your accuracy of your evaluation. So the closer you are in your evaluation to what the descriptions are on the check sheet, the better score you'll get for that portion as well. And that's one of the main objectives of this course, is being able to, by sight and sound, give, I guess, correct, accurate feedback, helpful feedback to students. In this case, you're the student and the teacher. So here's the Young Lions. Go ahead and listen and watch as I play it once for you. So some things to watch out for are, make sure you're getting your accents a very different dynamic level from the rest of what's around them. Make a large difference between your different dynamic levels. And then when we get to line 2, where it's piano and the rhythm slow down, make sure you keep your tempo accurate. Don't rush. Don't jump the rest, jump the quarter notes, all of those type of things. And then once you're playing louder, don't speed up. Sometimes people do that. So practice with a metronome, get used to keeping a consistent tempo. If you need to play it at quarter note equals 60, that's perfectly great. I will not take off at all. That's what it's actually marked at. If it's easier for you at a faster tempo like I just took, that'd be about as fast as I want to hear at this point. I want you to really focus on your technique and things, not how fast you can slam through the piece. So going at quarter note equals 60, it would sound more like this. And I'm just guessing at the tempo, but it's somewhere slower and around quarter note equals 60 anyways. You can use your metronome and get that exact if you'd like. So that's the Young Lions. That's what we'll be doing for Monday, and that's all I have for you here. Again, as you practice, hopefully you were stopping the video and getting things, practicing things as you needed, and then continuing. The point is to be able to achieve what we're working on, not just watch the video and watch me do it, but actually do all these activities on your own. So I will see you on Monday. We'll be looking forward to hearing what you prepared for the Young Lions.